How are you? And I know you're excited about our guest today.
Absolutely. I want to introduce today here Patrick Peterson, the owner of NetBase System Solutions. He is just an absolutely dynamic individual, helping business owners completely revolutionize their security practices and help them build better businesses and scale. So, love to have you, and thanks for having coming on, Patrick.
Thank you, Chris and Neil. Pleasure to be on. Looking forward to it and imparting some good information out there to the public.
All right, Christopher, go with your first question.
Yeah, likewise. So, I love to kick off these showcases by just asking you, how did NetBase get its start? What was your humble beginnings in all of this as the founder?
It's funny. I've been in the security business now 32 years.
That's awesome.
For the largest security big box companies and their enterprise solutions area and ops and in sales. So it wasn't a stretch to believe that we could do it better than the billion-dollar companies where clients just became revenue. And whoever paid the most, they got the best service. While the smaller guy kind of got left in the weeds because they weren't substantial. So we kind of figured that my partner and I, we were both working, uh, doing different things for the company, but on both on the tech side, senior programmer. We just sat down one day and we said we could do it better than what we were seeing across the spectrum. Clients had to deal with because they were just numbers.
Right. No, I love that. So you really wanted to have a larger impact for small and medium sized businesses, and that would really sparked you to go out on your own. Tell us about that vision for NetBase, especially when you first started to how it's evolved today. What are some of those core
Wow.
vision values that you guys have still?
Well, one was to bring to market uh, a security profile or company that could understand better what clients needed going into what we now know as a technological phase of change that happened. It used to happen every 5 years.
Hmm.
Now your technology swing is every 2.5 to 3 years.
Oh,
So
interesting.
keeping clients on the cutting edge of technology and giving them a force multiplier or giving them tools that would enhance their security at their sites for first visitors, employees, and then their property. So that definitely is something that was important to us, and we move in that direction of technology as a force multiplier for securing
Mm.
different
Wow.
types of applications.
It's interesting, Patrick. I worked, helped the company, did the marketing for them before, while I was still solopreneuring back in the day, called Lensec, was a video management software for security cameras. So I understand the whole physical security part. What do you supply your clients and businesses with regarding physical security?
Wow. Well, we're on the electronic security side, and we provide design, engineering, procurement, installation, and post installation support and services. So we do it for commercial and enterprise level clients. So
Mm.
we're a security minded integrator that we also perform structured cabling. We do access controlled video surveillance, intrusion detection. We do VoIP phones. We do network infrastructure for design and engineering of IT infrastructure. So we basically meet the gamut of low voltage security provider and low voltage systems overall.
It's quite intriguing, Christopher, and I'll let you come back. I had this experience. being with Lensec, creating a podcast with Lensec that involved, again, talking about physical security, especially security cameras. We dealt with a lot of access control companies. We dealt with a lot of the people that we were the value added software for those companies that would go and install and specific things like that. Physical security has come a long way, but ultimately people have not gone to the next level, which they need to. Physical security is basically going to keep your employees safe, keep your customers safe. And a lot of people kind of don't follow the right protocol when it comes to that, to the level that they need to have the high level protection that they need.
Well, as we continue to move the needle on people understanding technology from a day-to-day standpoint, they're starting to utilize the various methodologies for securing their facilities and even themselves. We've got AI in our field for video surveillance. So we're using, AI protocols to determine where people are, what they're wearing, what direction they're walking, what they leave behind. There's a number of profiles now that through video surveillance, you're collecting a lot of metadata. How many people are in an area at a given point? What are they looking at? So it's no longer a security tool
Mm,
exclusively. It's a business tool. It's a productivity tool. And it is a life safety because of the events that we just saw down in uh, oh shucks, Mardi Gras,
New Orleans,
yeah,
New
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 Orleans,
Orleans.
Orleans. Yeah.
excuse me. We just saw that, and there were some things that could have been done a lot better to keep people safe, and that didn't happen. But the technology is there for it to happen, and as people start to realize that they need to lean on the technology, we're there for them to help them kind of figure it out.
That's incredibly profound, right? To think about yourself as a business owner and the fact that you're not up to security readiness, right? Could you talk more so to those horror stories around, newer or existing business owners who, maybe have completely neglected to update their security practices and how you've seen that impact their businesses?
We see it across the board. Uh, from healthcare, you would think that healthcare that would be paramount,
Right.
securing their facilities. Uh, Typically, security is in the field of new construction and renovation is the last thing thought about.
Hmm.
And from, even from an infrastructure standpoint of understanding, you need to have a lot of this done while you're building it.
Right.
So it's not an afterthought. It has to be designed into the build. That's the side that, is challenging sometimes to school districts,
Yeah,
even police departments.
100%.
You
Interesting.
would think that police departments would be like the top security people,
They're not.
and a
Right.
lot of them
Ah,
have outdated, antiquated equipment, and it chugs along. So that's the real challenge of getting, society and business owners and people that have to protect other people and interests to really take a proactive view because that's what AI is. It's proactive. It's being proactive. And that's
right.
come moving forward, that's really it.
When you look at the AI, the automation was already happening before AI really got popular years
Right.
ago, where you're starting to see the if then scenarios. If cameras set off, an email will be sent to specifically a person in security, going through the process. And some security softwares were really good, some are not. Some don't have not kept up with the cameras. The cameras
Hmm.
are not able to deal with that. You talk about access control, such an important thing in certain incidents that have happened. If an access control would have identified the event then basically that event would never have happened. It would never have happened because it would already been identified. It's basically then the security department. How are they in technology, the entire security department of that company or organization? And that's where you come in as the architecture as well, Patrick, which is a different thing.
Hmm.
Explain architecture, that there's not a lot of, in this security industry. Yeah, they'll sell the equipment, but they don't really know how to architect it to make it the best secure facility.
So a lot of companies, Neil, and that's a good point. A lot of companies that are in the security space are not integrators.
Mm.
Right.
And as a integrator, we look to engineer holistic solutions. A lot of companies will look at one aspect of their security, the access control separate than the video, separate than the intercoms. All those things are modular pieces to your overall security plan. So what we do is we come in and we take a look at how you're operating, and based on an engineered design or a topography that includes these different facets, we put together a picture for you. And that picture, even from an insurance standpoint, a lot of companies don't understand when you have a good cohesive security plan, you can reduce your workers' comp, you can reduce your property insurance costs because you
Mhm.
have these mitigators that will delay or prevent or help to prevent events that may have happened or could happen, but you're in front of them. And it's a good thing when we find compliance officers, security officers, HR, who plays an integral role in this in a lot of
Mhm.
cases, especially where integration is concerned. Uh, Being able to tie in your HR piece to access control. One
Yeah, that makes
employee
sense.
who, was just let go, they forgot to take his card, and he goes home and he gets
Right.
his gun and he comes back. And now, you've got a volatile situation. Whereas if you did look at the integration platform, all of that would be integrated into whatever decisions are being made real time.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. No, I think it's absolutely great that you marked yourself as an integrator, not just a solution seller. You're helping with every aspect that the business owner needs, from beginning conception of what I might be wanting to build to all project release and maintenance, right? Um, and to that point, right, you talked about all the different security approaches that you are doing to really help empower business owners. I hope I'm not too forthright in saying this, but we've been talking offline, and just recently, you just acquired another company to help extend the portfolio of services that you guys provide. Is that something you'd like to talk about a little bit more? Is another unique differentiator that you guys have started to bring on? Hmm?
I am really excited. We will 100% complete the acquisition of a local security company that has physical guards. We never had the
Mm-hmm.
physical side of it,
Wow, that's
and
good.
also fingerprinting and
Mm.
CCL certifications. Uh, we figured for our expansion, we needed to be able to offer an array of security synergistic products.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Everyone who's fingerprinted, which is basically everyone now. If you
Right.
work with children, if you work in a bank, if you wherever you work, you end up now. People have to know that you're not crazy. Uh,
Right.
you're not a felon. You didn't rob a
Exactly.
bank. So those are pieces that we put together, and we're real excited because we have an opportunity for the company that we purchased. It was 18 years old. It's known, its site is known. So a lot of what we're doing is, you don't take something and break it to fix it again. It's not broken. We're going to expand those services out and be able to provide concierge security for most of the clients that are, awaiting us to bring that to market for them. So,
Exactly. And I'm going to just jump to the fact of when I was with Lensec, I went to ISC West and it blew me away the type of technology. And that was right before COVID. So that was in ISC West back in 2019. Worked with a lot of the different people that are involved with SIA and all these different things being part of the organization and what they were doing with Pass, which is a really good organization as well that I have connected with before. The security industry, schools, what vertical markets do you serve? Do you like certain verticals only focus with education, sometimes integrators? Some integrators only have a certain verticals. What verticals do you focus on?
wow. So currently, we do municipalities,
Mm.
uh, we do
Okay.
police departments, public works, we do school districts, we do downtown. We do the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is 240-story towers with hundreds of cameras and access control and turnstiles and integration of all those systems together. Um, so we're in the larger vertical market space, critical infrastructure space also. So a lot of this is engineered design, either through security consultants. We save them big bucks by being that to them.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
other thing is security consultants are the big people I remember that I have to contact as well to make connections with the integrators so that they would sell our software. Interesting kind of going back. Christopher, your next question, but at least we've been able to really identify for people, especially if they're in the enterprise level school districts, municipalities that are do you serve just Chicago as an integrator or just all
Yeah, I was going to ask that as a follow
uh,
up. What are all the different
no,
territories
we
that you
do.
serve?
So we do Northwest Indiana.
okay.
We do all of Chicagoland, which is a very large
Huge.
footprint, and parts
Yeah.
of Wisconsin. So we want to make sure that, even from a windshield standpoint, which is the time to get to a client, that we can get there and not be the big guys that say we'll be there in 6 weeks because their footprint is just humongous. So we keep a tight footprint so we can get our guys where they need to be, to make sure that systems are working. And we do a lot of remote connected services.
Oh,
So
interesting.
we literally remote into their systems and fix them remotely,
I love it.
uh,
You don't
Yeah.
even
which
have to leave out
increases
of the
the
couch.
Yeah, that's it. With AI technology and robotics and everything that involved the drone thing blows me away. The company I was with, they were have integration for their video management software with drones, and then it's just ridiculously crazy, especially in other countries. They were big in Jordan, and now I think they're more international based than U.S. based. But go ahead, Christopher, with another question. I'm just impressed by Patrick. The physical security game is just waking me up to those days back in 98 and 99. I'm sorry, 2000. What am I thinking? I'm trying to run
You're
through
dating yourself out.
2018 and 2019 when I worked with Lensec. And it's just going back. It's security business is fun. Physical
yeah.
security is because you're helping people. And Patrick, we'll add to that and let Christopher have the final question. Right? This is why you're in this, is you really are saving lives. And I think that's a big thing that makes your day wake up every day knowing what you love to do.
You know, Neil, it's a moment of truth with the systems. These systems are like the insurance that you buy every day, and hopefully you never have to use it for what it's designed for. We want to make sure that in the moment of truth, that if something does happen, that you're protected. You've done everything that you can do, and that's all we can do. I tell people we never sell prevention, we sell deterrence because
Mhm.
someone is dead set on doing something, they're going to do it. But for the majority of the public, when they see that there are certain safeguards in place, they see cameras, they see card readers, they see intrusion systems, they know, well, maybe I should go somewhere else. And at the end of the day, it's a sad commentary on life, but rather you than me, right?
Right. Absolutely. To that point, right? What are some key insights that you want to leave our audience today? Whether you're a newer business owner that hasn't considered security solutions before, or maybe you're an existing one that you just felt like you're behind the eight ball. What are some insights that you want to give to those folks?
Well, I would tell you find a qualified security integrator. It's no longer about security companies. Anyone
Mhm.
can put a camera in, anyone can put an alarm system in. And, if that's the approach, then we would ask that the general public understand that that's no longer in your best interest. You
Mhm.
need a holistic security platform. You need everything turning on the same gears. I spent 20 years in the Navy, and the one thing the Navy, different ships I was on, was readiness, 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 readiness. Because at the moment of truth, if you haven't done your homework, you haven't designed systems that work, there's the repercussions, and it may be life safety repercussions.
Mhm.
We saw it in Texas. Someone left a rear door open. It was enough for a gunman to get in and kill 23 children. Had that door been properly monitored and closed, never could have entered the building. And that's the way I'm hoping that most security oriented operations people, they're looking at it. What can we do to make sure we're doing the best we can? And if I can impart that on you, that get a company like NetBase that, first of all, we care. We have the experience to take you from cradle to grave, from beginning of design all the way through your day-to-day operations. And we're there for you. We're going to service your equipment and we're going to keep you going. But more importantly, we're going to make sure you understand that there's new technology that you have to keep up with.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I
that's
love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's incredibly great to just to have that partner in your back pocket. One little thing before we close out here. You have quite a few certifications under your belt. Been in the Navy, I think disabled veteran. Just tell if you can, just tell us just a few of those different communities that you're part of. I might mess it up.
Oh, I, I don't know, Chris. On the Navy side, if I tell you, I've got to kill you. But
Yeah.
so this, no, with 21 years and across the spectrum of electronic security, one of the biggest markets I operated in as management was the LA market for 16 years. So dealing with Brentwood and the Palisades and Beverly Hills, those folks are a breed of themselves. So that
Yes.
carries its own certification if you can deal with it, those mentalities there. But no, it's the certifications for what we do in our space. We carry all of the major certifications and
That's awesome.
dealerships for all of the large commercial security manufacturers in the world. So we can engineer just about anything.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Christopher, thanks for bringing me back to the days of physical security. I love
Yeah,
that industry. I love a lot of verticals, but that's an interesting one, especially when it comes as a former teacher. What you do to serve school districts is so important to keep our kids safe. And if
absolutely.
every organization would do like hire an integrator like you in every city and every state, I don't think we would have as many school shootings because that's the first
Absolutely.
line of defense to keep things going. And then now add your physical security, adding the security components of security guards and fingerprinting. All school districts need to go to that technology end, and they don't because of the funding. And
Mhm.
the government has to figure that out, Patrick. Don't you agree? So that every school district can keep their kids
100%.
safe. Absolutely.
Yes. And that's the core of why we do what we do, keeping people safe.
I got to connect you to Pass. They're very interesting. I just shot you a link in the chat. We'll have to talk about that. Two different organizations that were fantastic when I used to produce a podcast and co-host it. So appreciate it, Patrick. Thanks again. Best place people can find info. Where can they go?
You can go to www.nbs for you. That's November Bravo Sierra, the digit 4, the letter U as in uniform.com. Stands for Net-Based Systems for You. Our phone number is 708-964-7910. And either one of those, we'll get back to you and we'll come out and we'll sit down. I'm not interested in selling you in as much as engineering for you something that long-term helps your organization.
Well, thanks again,
Love
Patrick.
that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Chris.